Hi, everyone. Welcome back. Today, we are diving into something that is hands down one of the most important pieces of your health. And that honestly is one of the most misunderstood as well. And that's blood sugar balance. Now, I know the moment some women hear blood sugar and they immediately think, this doesn't apply to me. I'm not diabetic. But wait, hear me out. Blood sugar is like the master dimmer switch in your body. When it's stable, everything, hormones, energy, metabolism, mood, sleep, digestion, run smoothly. But when it's unstable, everything gets thrown off. And women that's in their 40s and 50s, we tend to feel it most because that's when things start kind of shifting already. So today, I want to teach you why blood sugar is foundational and how it impacts every system and why perimenopause makes it even more important than ever. Now, think of your blood sugar. I'm always using analogies. Some may like it, some may hate it. I don't know. I just find it easier to explain and for people to understand. But you want to think of your blood sugar like a car's gas pedal. You want a steady pressure on the pedal, smooth, predictable movement. Now, most women are either slamming on the gas, spikes, or slamming on the brakes, crashes. And the body hates both. So, this whiplash effect is what leads to afternoon fatigue, hormone chaos, weight loss resistance, cravings, anxiety, hot flashes, waking up at 2 a.m., brain fog. And y'all, it's not random. It's not your age. It's not your lack of willpower. It's physiology, and it comes back to how your body is handling glucose and insulin. Now, let's talk about what actually happens in your body because this part is eye-opening. Now, when you eat something that spikes your blood sugar, and this could be healthy foods, because a lot of people think blood sugar and they just think processed, sugary, laden, foods that are bad for you. But this could be healthy foods that are eaten alone, like fruit, toast, coffee creamer, granola bars, even a smoothie. Your blood sugar rises quickly. Your pancreas sees that and it says, whoa, too much sugar in the bloodstream. Let's pull this out before it damages anything. So then in turn, it releases insulin. Now, insulin is your storage hormone. It grabs glucose and stores it, usually as fat. And insulin is like a cleanup crew that shows up with a dozen workers when you only needed two. They clean up the spill and then they keep cleaning and cleaning and cleaning. So, this is why you crash, you get tired, you want more sugar or you want sugar, your mood dips, your appetite surges, you can't focus, you feel off. And then in turn, you reach for more energy, creating another spike, another crash, another craving. This is the blood sugar roller coaster, and most women over 40 are unknowingly riding it all day. Now, let's talk about hormones. Estrogen and progesterone aren't just reproductive hormones, they actually help our body respond to insulin. Estrogen makes insulin more efficient. Progesterone helps steady blood sugar and cravings. And as these hormones fluctuate in perimenopause, we tend to lose this buffer. So, the analogy that I like to use with my clients is this: before perimenopause, estrogen is like a best friend sitting in the passenger seat helping you drive. She's handing you snacks, keeping you calm, adjusting the air. But around 40, she starts leaving the car more often. And suddenly, before you know it, you're driving the car alone. And here's what it looks like in your body. You'll tend to see more blood sugar spikes, higher insulin levels, easier fat storage, especially belly fat, higher inflammation, more cravings, worse PMS or perimenopausal symptoms, mood swings, poor sleep, more bloating, and feeling wired but tired. And this is why so many women say, I'm doing everything I used to and it's not working anymore. And it's basically because the metabolic environment has changed. Now, I don't know if y'all know this, but blood sugar can impact every system. First you have gut health, which I'm partially biased to. Unstable blood sugar slows digestion and throws motility off. It also feeds dysbiosis and disrupts the gut brain connection. So, if you've ever felt bloated, constipation, gas, nausea, brain fog after meals, blood sugar swings are often behind this. And then you have your hormones. So when insulin is constantly high, it creates a hormonal domino effect. Think of hormones like coworkers doing a group project. If insulin shows up late, frazzled, and overloaded, everyone else ends up having to work harder. So high insulin leads to high cortisol. High cortisol leads to low progesterone. Low progesterone leads to mood swings, anxiety, sleep issues, heavy periods, worse perimenopause symptoms. Low estrogen efficiency leads to belly fat storage and cravings. So you kind of see the connection here. Then you have the stress response. When your blood sugar drops, your body releases adrenaline and cortisol to bring it back up. This is why a blood sugar crash can feel like anxiety. You might feel shakiness, irritability, heart racing. You might feel hangry, or you might feel sudden fatigue. You get that crash in the afternoon. It's like, whew, I need to lay down. It's not just stress, it's your body trying to rescue you. And then you have the connection of your weight and metabolism. Insulin is the hormone that says hold on to fat, don't burn it. And when insulin is high, you cannot effectively burn fat no matter how few calories you eat or how many workouts you do. And then you have sleep. So, which I would argue is one of the most important. It's one of the most underrated and undervalued, but it is one of the most important. And if you tend to wake up between 2 and 3 a.m., it's often blood sugar, not insomnia. And when your blood sugar crashes overnight, cortisol spikes, and then boom, you're awake. And when we stabilize blood sugar, and I see this in clients every week, things start to shift. Energy becomes more steady, cravings drop, mood stabilizes, sleep improves, hormones respond better, weight becomes easier to lose, brain fog all of a sudden lifts. All of a sudden, hot flashes have decreased, bloating reduces, and you stop feeling out of control around food. So it's the closest thing to an easy button for most women that are in their 40s and 50s that are struggling. Now, here's the simple blueprint of how to balance it. No dieting, no tracking macros unless you want to, just some simple principles. The first one is anchoring all of your meals with protein. And here you want to aim for at least 25 to 35 grams of protein. So protein is literally like adding a bouncer to the nightclub. It slows down sugar's entrance so you don't get that spike. And the second thing is pairing carbs with protein or fat. So carbs alone is going to give you a spike. Carbs with a friend is going to give you stable energy. And then the third thing is don't drink your sugar. Smoothies, lattes, juices, they go straight to your bloodstream like an IV drip. Smoothies are fine, but you want to make sure that you want to make sure that there's protein and fiber and some fats added into it. And then you want to eat within an hour or two of waking. This is actually one of the big things that I think a lot of women are guilty of is skipping breakfast. Skipping breakfast is like starting your day by driving on empty. Your body panics and then in turn cortisol spikes. And the last thing is to build balanced plates consistently. So in this case, consistency is going to matter more than perfection. So it's consistency, and I say this all the time, consistency is what we do most of the time, not all of the time. And this balancing blood sugar is always step one in any of my programs. I don't care if someone comes to me with gut issues, hormone imbalances, perimenopause symptoms, stubborn weight, bloating, or fatigue. we always address blood sugar first because if blood sugar is unstable, the gut's not going to heal, hormones won't balance, stress stays high, sleep's going to stay disrupted, weight stays stuck, and inflammation is just going to continue to run wild. So, stabilizing blood sugar is the foundation everything else rests on. So if you're in your 40s or your 50s, feeling like your body's changing and you can't quite put your finger on why, this is where you need to start. You don't need a strict diet. You don't need to cut out food groups. You don't need to do harder workouts. You just need stability. And if you want help figuring out what your blood sugar is doing, what your symptoms mean, and how to balance meals for your body, drop a comment and message me, and I would be happy to help. Until next time.